Spurs look set to drop points for the first time in their new stadium on Tuesday night. That was until Christian Eriksen's late strike against Brighton sealed all 3 points. Mauricio Pochettino's men have now won all 4 games at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, beating Crystal Palace, Manchester City in the Champions League, Huddersfield and Brighton. And they're still yet to concede a goal at their new fortress.
I think Tottenham can come away from this season and be very pleased with a good season's work. They've had a lot going on, moved into a fabulous new stadium which appears to be worth the wait, and they're in a good position in the Premier League and have been in the fight for quite some time.
Son Heung-min has perhaps been Tottenham's player of the season after 20 goals in all competitions. With 12 of those coming in the Premier League, South Koreans averaged a goal every 159 minutes, the second best league ratio of his career.
I think Son has been Spurs' best player. In my mind, you know, if I had to vote for player of the season at Spurs, it would be Son. I think his contribution's been invaluable. I think he's been brilliant for Tottenham, and he would be my player of the season there.
Unlike Son, Dele Alli's endured a frustrating, injury-ravaged campaign, making just 22 Premier League appearances this term. His return is 8 goals and assists combined, a total that's way down on each of his 3 previous seasons at the club. West Ham thought they had all 3 points secured against Leicester last Saturday. Goals from Michail Antonio and Lucas Perez looked to have done the job for the Hammers. But the Foxes' Harvey Barnes had other ideas, scoring his first goal for the club in stoppage time. That draw did mean West Ham avoided a 4th straight defeat, and although the Hammers sit in mid-table, their form will be a concern for Manuel Pellegrini. Only relegated Huddersfield and struggling Brighton have picked up fewer points than West Ham's 4 in the last 6 matches.
I think Pellegrini's first season has been relatively stable in comparison to previous season. Started off incredibly shaky, had a really strong period throughout the middle, and have just tailed off a little bit towards the end.
Hammers forward Marko Arnautovic failed to find the net yet again last weekend. The Austrian has bagged 7 league goals this season and was heavily linked with a move to China in January. But that deal fell through, and he's now failed to score in any of his last 10 league outings. At least Lukasz Fabianski has been in stunning form at the other end, making the most saves in the division. But that's nothing new. Since the start of the 15-16 season, he's recorded over 100 saves more than any other keeper in the Premier League.
Well, we talked about Son as player of the season for Spurs. I think Fabianski is player of the season for West Ham, which says a lot. You know, he's done a lot. He's had to keep them in the game many times. But I think when they've gone through really tough patches or been dominated in games, he's always come up with the goods and produced some brilliant saves. So his consistency level this season's been excellent as well.
In the corresponding fixture last season, West Ham was 6 minutes away from a rare win over Spurs before Son's stunning equaliser late on at Wembley. And West Ham won't take any comfort from their other previous encounters either. Spurs have only won more Premier League games against Everton and Manchester City. 22 victories in what is seldom a boring affair.
Well, firstly, I used to love this fixture against Spurs with West Ham. The rivalry between the two sets of supporters is big and the atmosphere is always great. So, league position aside, it didn't really matter. This is a big game for both clubs.
West Ham haven't had much luck on the road recently. The Irons have only collected 1 point from a possible 24, scoring just 2 goals in the process. But can they become the first team to come away from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with a positive result?
Tottenham's dependency on finishing top 4 this season means they have to win all their home games. I'm backing them to do that, so I think it'll be a Spurs win.